So I feel like a lot of wholesalers just pitch one thing and one thing only, and that's just low cash offers. But I feel like what's not talked a lot about is what to do if a seller has a lot of equity and a lot of time, but doesn't want to deal with the repairs, doesn't want to deal with an agent, doesn't want to deal with listing it. And that is where novations come in. And I'm going to explain exactly how it works and why sellers actually tend to like it, especially the ones that are within the circumstances that I discussed before. So instead of just purchasing the property ourselves or assigning it ourselves, we open up the buyer pool to traditional buyers, people getting loans that are homestead buyers that are usually willing to pay a lot more because this is where they want to settle down. It's not an investment to them. The numbers don't need to make entirely perfect sense. And that bigger buyer pool equals more money on the table for the seller. But with listing on the MLS, there's a little bit of a catch, and I'm going to explain to you why sellers usually don't, at least in this specific situation, don't like to do it on their own. I'm referring to the sellers who are like, I don't want to talk to realtors, I don't like realtors, etc., etc. Selling on the MLS usually means dealing with agents, repairs necessary to get it to market value, or at least to a point where it can be marketed and it'll get approved on an appraisal. I'm referring to the conventional lending of approving the loan. They overall would just prefer zero involvement within the MLS listing process. And with the novation approach, you are handling all of that for them. They are never lifting a finger once. There's no cleaning, no repairs, no management. We carry everything on the back end entirely for them. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what does the seller get here? More exposure, higher offers, and we lock in their net proceeds up front. There's no games, there's no last minute renegotiating. We just step in, handle the sale, and then they just walk away with what we told them they'd be getting up front, which was a lot more than our typical cash offer. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, but how do you personally get paid? We make our profit by keeping the difference between what we locked it up for and then what we resold it for. Now, there's no assignment involved, but whatever we told the seller, okay, we're going to get you $100,000, whatever's left over is ours, that's the difference. And it's structured a little differently. Like I said, there's no assignment on the HUD, but it's all disclosed. It's all written up within contractual agreements. The seller knows exactly what they're going to be walking away with. It's fully legal, fully transparent, and it's built to help the seller walk away with all of the equity that they were trying to get without, or at least avoiding the original cash offer, and they can actually not have any involvement with the sale. And this doesn't work for every single property. With novations, all of the big ticket items need to be covered, so if the property is still pretty heavily in distress, it needs a lot of work, that an actual conventional mortgage isn't going to get approved, but it's perfect for when the cash offer doesn't make sense, and this is a perfect middle ground and something that they're actually interested in. So overall, we get the deal done, the seller gets more money, and the seller doesn't have to deal with the stress of the whole entire on-market listing. And I forgot to mention, if you're in the Discord, we go over this extremely in depth. So if you don't want to just guess and watch a bunch of random YouTube videos, join the Discord.